Hi, welcome to Get a Clue Casual Gamer, where we get a clue, C-L-U-E, about a game, or as we continue my list of top 100, and today we've gotten to the list 31 to 40. So, let's see what is on my list now. As I mentioned in the last video, I'm being surrounded by piles and piles of games. I now have 70 games in stacks around me because, as I mentioned, I want to, I want to rearrange them when I'm done with this list. And also, you'll see the stacks behind me are starting to go down as well, because every now and then I'm pulling out a game from behind me. So my piles are getting shorter and shorter. Anyway, while these piles are getting more numerous and taller. Okay, number 40 is a very popular game. It's a tile laying game. It's very important where you place your tiles, because one off and that whole concept needed for points for that goal is out the window, and there's nothing you can do to save it. So it's very important. My number 40, Calico. Gorgeous, cute little kitty, not a calico cat. I understand Mike DeLisio on Dice Tower. I understand that. This is like, you know, the Morris the cat here, not a calico. We used to have a calico when I was a kid, so I know the difference. But these beautiful kitty on this beautiful quilt. Well, it's the quilt that we're working with. And I also understand the concept of calico material. Anyway. Each person will have a board for their quilt. The edges are already filled in, and this part is recessed, which is wonderful, so that you don't have to, so that they don't slide off your quilt once you do it. But basically, you're going to have 3 goals, and some of them might be AABBCC, which means around that hexagon you need to have 2 that match, 2 others that match, and a 3rd pair that matches, all circling that hexagon to get the points. Whether it's, sometimes it's specific by color or by pattern, but other times it's just you figure out just a pair. Whether it's 2 of the same color or 2 of the same pattern, or 2 exactly the same, it's whatever. It's a tile laying game, and you're creating, whoops, sideways, you're creating a quilt. Is really pretty. The pieces are really nice. I'm pretty sure I have done a video on this one. It's by AEG. We got a lot of AEGs. Now that's been standing out lately. And Flat Out Games. Very popular. I believe it might have come out last year. If not, it at the very earliest came out in 2021. But I might have come out in 2022. Not sure. But it's new to my list. It was not on my list last year. I had not played it yet. So, Calico is my number 40. Gotta make another pile. Number 39 is also new to me, but I know it was new last year. It came out in 2022. It can be played solo. It can be played up to 8 players. Yes, you heard me right. 1 to 8 players. It's Longshot the dice game. Apparently there was a game called Longshot, but this is Longshot the dice game. You are racing horses around a track, but also you're betting on them, and you're being you can, there's ways that you can mitigate who gets extra steps ahead. Oops, sorry. It's race, and you don't have to own the horse. You're betting on the horse, and everyone, and actually I've played it mostly solo, so I know that it plays well solo. I enjoy it completely solos. But it does play up to 8 people, which is great to have. And it doesn't take up a lot of space, which is another big plus. It is a roll and write, as well as having the track with the horses. But everyone will have their own board, their markers, and even the horse things can be written on as well and wiped off later. It's a great little game. It goes quickly. It's not a long, drawn-out game. It's a race. My number 39, Longshot, the dice game. Number 38, small box. And actually, we're just getting past, or just maybe even in the middle of, yeah, maybe we're in the middle of Japan's cherry blossom season. My number 38 is Ohanami. Ohanami is a card game, obviously, and you have a deck of cards, 120 cards, and you're basically trying to let me try and remember, because you're wanting to get it in order. Okay, it's a draft of garden season after season. You will need to know which cards to keep and which cards to... Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, it just dawned on me again, the play. You have you have a hand of cards, you draft a card, and you place it, and then you pass, and you get another deck from your neighbor, you pick one, and then you have to place it, and you're making up to 3 columns of cards in numerical order, ascending, but you can place the card either at the top or at the bottom of a column, and your goal is to try and get everything in without ending up with cards that you can't use. You're wanting to create beautiful gardens, and beauty is orderly. You know, it's like each column needs to be numerically in order, and it really is a simple game. Again, you're drafting cards as you have a handful, take one, pass along. That's drafting. Okay, so yeah. Ohanami, a cute little card game. Oh, gorgeous artwork. I don't know if you can see that. Gorgeous artwork there on each of the cards. And plays 2 to 4 players in less than a half hour. My number 38, which was on my list last year. Oof, got glare. It was number 51 last year. So it's actually gone up. It has improved on the list from 51 to 38. My number 37 game is what I think of as a modern classic. It's been around for a few years. It has gone down my list. It was number 7 last year, and this year's number 37. But again, so many games, so many new games, so many games played for the first time. I just, yeah, everything was moving around. We'll see how it does for next year. But I love to bring this out for people who are new to the hobby games. And I call it a, whatchamacallit, modern classic, and that's King Domino. It's easy to bring to the table when you mention it's similar to dominoes. Kind of, it's kind of like, yeah, it's It's not a unique mechanism. You're creating a kingdom, a 5x5 kingdom, and it's just, instead of numbers, it's terrain. So one half will have one kind of terrain, the other half will have another kind of terrain, or it could have the same terrain on both sides. You know, it's a double six. It's, you know, but you pick them and you place them, create your own kingdom. You want to get some with crowns on them and try and create your blocks of terrain into larger groups with crowns in there, because if there's no crown in an area of terrain, you get no points for that terrain. But even if there's one crown, you multiply how many squares there are times 1 and you get that many points. If you have 2, 3 crowns, you multiply by that number instead. So it really can be an exponential score depending on how many crowns and how large that terrain block is. So it is a simple game. I love it. It won the Spiel des Jahres, so you know it's a pretty good game just from that. But I'm telling you, it's an easy game. There are other games. I have done a video on it, and I explain a couple other ones that have come since King Domino, newer versions, but they're a little tougher. And so if you're just starting out King Domino, you can always go to Queen Domino or King Domino or Origins, I think it is. But King Domino, and it's inexpensive. You can get it for 20 bucks. I've seen it forever at that price point. So $20. Okay, so that was my number 37. My number 36 is a 2-player game. I have always been a reader. I love to read, and I love mysteries. And so when I saw this, I put it on my Christmas wish list a couple years ago and got it for Christmas, and have enjoyed it ever since. Holmes, Sherlock, and Mycroft. Like I say, it's a 2-player game that takes place over 7 days. You have this little board, and each day you'll be adding a new protagonist, a new assistant for Sherlock and Mycroft, his brother, and they're battling out, trying to be the one who solves the mystery. Now, the theme is pretty well painted on. It's a set collection, and you're trying to get the most of a certain number or type of clue. The cards have different clues on them, and you're just trying to have the majority of each one. So that it's a set collection game. Very simple, very easy to get to the table. 2-player. I would say, let me see what they say, but I would say, yeah, they say 30 minutes. I say about 30 minutes. Yeah, I played it with my mom, so, you know, it's a great little game. Does not take up a lot of space. My number 36. Last year, it was my number 40. So it has gone up a little bit since last year. Holmes, Sherlock, and Mycroft. My number 36. My number 35 is a true blue flip and write game in the roll and write genre. It is one that was number 39 last year, and this year's 35. In fact, Holmes, Sherlock, and Mycroft and Cartographers were back-to-back last year, and they're back-to-back this year because Cartographers is my number 35. I really like this game. It's just thinky enough, but still free to place where you want. It's like everyone has the same choices, but not everyone chooses the same. And basically you have a map, and oh my goodness, they've come out with more of those and everything, but I'm just telling you the basic cartographers. And you have the different goals, and then the season. It's 4 rounds. In the first round, you're trying to get as many A, B on your board. In the second round, B, C. The third round, C, D, and the fourth round, D, A. So you're constantly thinking ahead to, what will I get more points for in the next round? But then once you've passed, once you're done with B, you're never coming back to B. Once you're done with C, you're never coming back to C. So you can start forgetting about that. You don't want to waste your moves finishing off something for them. You're always looking at what you're going for right now and in the future rounds. And yes, there are some monsters that come and do their worst to try and mess you up. But, and those monsters, when they come up, your neighbor gets to mess up your board a little. But other than that, it's a wonderful, simple, yet not super simple. There's some thinking, there's some choices. It's a little meatier than some of the really simple ones, which is why I like it, but it's also very casual level, which is why I like it. So my number 35, Cartographers. My number 34 is a cooperative game that came out a couple years ago, 2-3 years ago now. It had a follow-up sequel, which was a different theme. It was the same game, just a different theme. But in fact, at first I did not, the name didn't interest me, and so it was like monsters. I'm not interested. That's a theme that doesn't really interest me. And then I finally heard a commentary about how it was actually the universal campy 40s 50s movie monsters, and I said, oh, that I can do, because I like those old campy movies, and it's a cooperative game, so it's great. And it also can be made to be easy, medium, or difficult. So you can gear it to whatever group you're playing with or playing on your own, because you can play it by yourself. It plays 1 to 5 players, and you are basically trying to, you're like scientists and the mayor of the city and everything, important people who are trying to get rid of the monsters in town before they kill off all the villagers. The monsters are trying to kill the villagers and kill these stupid specialists that are after them. But it's a beautiful board game. A beautiful board. It has little miniature monsters, which is really cute. And then, of course, you have the monsters, the way to kill them off and to eradicate them. And then you have the specialists. You have all these little things that will be put out all over the place. These little, basically it's equipment to help you kill off the monsters. And they come out at random from this bag. And if you end up in the same square as a monster, you're going to have to fight them. And that's where the dice rolls, the monster's powers, and your cards, your powers, and your little weapon things can all work together to defeat monsters. So that is my number 34, Horrified. Okay, number 33. Wow. We've had 3 in this group that are considered like Roll and Rights, Longshot, the dice game. We used dice. Cartographers was a flip and write. We used cards. And this one, number 33, oh, sorry. Horrified last year was 28. This year's 34. So it did slide a little bit. Not much. This game, last year was 13 on the list. This year's 33. I still adore Silver and Gold. Silver and Gold, basically the premise is you're looking for treasure on different islands, and you get points when you complete those islands. The islands are actually cards that have, let me see if I can get it, there we go, at an angle. Different shaped islands, and some of them have X marks the spot, some of them have palm trees, some of them have gold coins, but one way or the other, if you if you X out all the X's on an island, you get the points that are up on the top corner. You know, it's like they're all worth points, but basically you fill them out by flipping cards, and it has a polyomino shape, a Tetris shape on it, and you X out that shape on one of your islands. You'll be working with usually 2 or 3 islands at a time, and once you complete an island, you can choose another one out of 4 that are on display. These are on display, and these are the ones you're working on. Okay, it's really a great game, very easy. It's one that I tend to take places to let people learn roll and rights in a little bit different. It is Phil Walker Harding game, so that's a big plus in my book too, because I love Phil Walker Harding games. So that is my number 33, and which was 13 last year. Now this next one is one that was new last year. At least new to me. I think it came out last year. If it came out in 2021, it would have been late in 2021. I've got it and played it for the first time in 2022. It is my number 32, the big box, and it is Seven Wonders Architects. Of course, there is the game Seven Wonders and the game Seven Wonders Duel. I don't have Seven Wonders, but I do have Seven Wonders Duel, and somebody is texting me. Okay. So this is, what I love about this is the easiest version of all the Seven Wonders. And what is cool is that there are 7 wonders in here. And each one has its own plastic container that has all the cards and pieces that player will need for that wonder. And then there's a deck that's shared by everyone, which is in a separate container. But it's so cool that all you have to do is take out the container and hand it to each person, and they have in their thing everything they need to play the game. So setup is absolutely so quick and so easy. And this is, I think, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. Each wonder comes in the same number of pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm seeing 5. Are there 6? Oh no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm seeing 5. 5 pieces. And you'll get points by completing them. They start off as scaffolding, and then when you complete one, you start at the bottom and work your way up. When you complete it, you flip it over, and you have the completed thing on the back. But you're trying to get sets of things so that you can complete these different levels. And it's that simple. It's really, you're collecting sets, and you're building your wonder. One of the 7 wonders. And so, again, a big box, heavy box, because it does have all of that equipment in there. But Seven Wonders Architects, like I said, I've never played Seven Wonders. I have Seven Wonders Duel, and I love it. But this is a great one to bring out when you have people, again, who don't play a lot of different games. This one, I would say, you probably need somebody who at least has played mass market games, you know, understands the concept of gaming, but not necessarily hobby games. Okay? I mean, they've played Phase 10 and they've played Parcheesi or whatever. So this, you know, that kind of level of person should be the one that you can bring this out to. And that was my number 32, which was new to me this year, so it didn't have a number last year. And the last one is also new to me. 31 came out in 2022. And it is another roll and write. Yeah, there's 4, and 4 out of the 10 were some form of roll and write. I think I see them this high up in the list because I can play them solo. And if I can play it solo, I get more plays out of it, which then puts it a little bit higher in my esteem because I can play it. This one, number 31, is Dungeons, Dice, and Danger. It is basically a dungeon crawl. Definitely have some luck built in, a lot of luck built in it because it uses dice. I will say, yes, it plays solo, and the problem with the solo, I won't tell you this, if you're only going to be playing a solo, it might get frustrating because it is brutal solo. What you have to do to stay in the game is really not what I want to do in a game, which is you have to hit a monster every turn, which means you have to get into a room that has a monster or several rooms that have monsters, and then roll a number on the die that will damage that monster. And if you don't, then you have to X out a life on the scoring sheet, and you end up you only have like 10 chances. Yeah, 10 chances. These are the lives right here. You only have the 10 chances of not hitting a monster. And there's a lot of stuff going on in one of these dungeons. It's like I don't even get a third done and I've run out of lives when I play solo. When I play with other people, we're equal. We have the equal chance of getting something or not. And the track is treated differently. So it's a little easy. You get further along. You feel that you've achieved a little bit more. But despite all of that, it's still my number 31. So it really does play, though I would say I personally prefer to play it with someone else so that I don't have to follow the AI rules. That's it. Dungeons, Dice, and Danger is my number 31. And so that gets us all the way down to 31. Those are my 31 to 40. And next coming up will be my top 30. And we're getting closer and closer to to what really stirs me up and really brings joy. I mean, I love, like I've said before, all of these games I love. It's not like I haven't played hundreds of different games. I own hundreds of different games, and these are my top 100, and they are all excellent games. But some just hit me better than others. Some might hit you better than they hit me. We'll see. So that's it for now, for this week, for this day. Have fun playing games, and God bless you and your family. Until next time, bye.